Hello, you're watching movie snapshot scenes, and this is the summary of Halloween 1978. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Haddonfield, Illinois, Halloween night, 1963. The streets are filled with laughter, masks, and candy. Children run door to door, unaware that something dark is stirring just beyond the light. Inside a quiet suburban home, Judith Myers laughs upstairs with her boyfriend. Downstairs, a small figure watches silently. Her 6-year-old brother, Michael. Wearing a clown mask, he moves unnoticed through the house. Then, without a word, he climbs the stairs. The knife in his hand flashes. Judith screams. Moments later, Michael walks outside, blank-faced and covered in blood. He says nothing. The police arrive. His parents remove the mask. Behind it, the face of an innocent child stares into the void, emotionless, empty, lost. Michael is taken away. For the next 15 years, he is locked inside Smith's Grove Sanitarium under the watchful eye of Dr. Sam Loomis, a psychiatrist who quickly realizes that Michael is no ordinary patient. Michael doesn't speak. He doesn't respond. He only stares. Loomis sees no hope, no remorse, only pure, silent evil. He warns others, begs the authorities never to release him, but no one truly listens. Until one night, October 30th, 1978, Michael escapes. During a routine transfer in a storm of rain and confusion, he overpowers the guards, steals a car, and disappears into the night. Loomis knows exactly where he's going. Haddonfield. Halloween is coming again. Back in the town he once shattered, life goes on. Laurie Strode, a quiet and studious teenage girl, walks to school, unaware that she's already being watched. Michael, now wearing a pale white mask and blue overalls, stalks the streets unnoticed, blending into the costumes and decorations. He doesn't speak, he doesn't rush, he simply follows. That night, Laurie is set to babysit young Tommy Doyle. Her friends, Annie and Linda, make their own Halloween plans, laughing, partying, trusting in the safety of suburbia. But Michael is already there, waiting, watching, and Dr. Loomis, now hunting his escaped patient, races against time. Desperate to find Michael before the town learns what he already knows. He's not coming home. He's coming to kill. Halloween Day arrives in Haddonfield. The town glows with carved pumpkins, orange leaves, and the comfort of tradition. But under the surface, something is off. A coldness lingers in the air, a presence unseen, but deeply felt. Laurie Strode, sharp and quiet, goes about her school day. She's responsible, the kind of girl who keeps her head down, but she feels it, that someone is watching her. First near her house, then outside the school, a pale face, a white mask, there, and gone. She tells herself it's her imagination. It isn't. Michael Myers is back in Haddonfield, and he is already moving through the town like a ghost. He stole his mask, his coveralls, and a butcher knife. He doesn't speak. He doesn't run. He simply follows. Annie Brackett, Laurie's friend, is loud, carefree, and too distracted to notice the man in the shadows. She laughs off Laurie's concerns. It's Halloween. Everyone's entitled to one good scare. But Michael doesn't scare. He kills. Meanwhile, Dr. Loomis arrives in Haddonfield, trailing Michael's escape. He knows what's coming. He warns the police, especially Sheriff Brackett, Annie's father, but they're skeptical. Loomis speaks of evil, not in metaphors, but as something real, something human-shaped and soulless. I met him 15 years ago. I was told there was nothing left, no reason, no conscience, no understanding, not even the most rudimentary sense of life or death, good or evil, right or wrong. Loomis begins to search. Michael begins to hunt. As the sun sets, Laurie arrives at the Doyle house to babysit Tommy. Across the street, Annie is watching Lindsay Wallace. The night is calm, quiet. Children watch horror movies. Teenagers make plans. Everything feels normal. But Michael is already inside the neighborhood. He moves silently through the streets, always in the background, through windows, across sidewalks, behind hedges. The shape in the night, the boogeyman in flesh. No one sees him until it's too late. And now the stage is set. The houses are dark, the phones are silent, and one by one, Michael begins to take them. Night falls over Haddonfield, and Halloween enters its darkest hour. The neighborhood is quiet. Parents are inside. Children are asleep. The streets are empty. But behind closed doors, Michael Myers begins his silent war. At the Wallace house, Annie, Brackett prepares for a night of freedom. After dropping Lindsay off with Laurie at the Doyle house, Annie gets ready to meet her boyfriend. She hums to herself, walks through the darkened kitchen, and doesn't notice the figure watching her from the shadows. Michael is inside. He moves like a shadow, without sound or warning. When Annie climbs into her car, she doesn't realize the windows are fogged. She doesn't notice the door wasn't locked until it's too late. The knife flashes. Her scream is swallowed by the night. Across the street, Laurie babysits Tommy Doyle and Lindsay Wallace, reading stories and watching scary movies. She still senses something is wrong, a shape in the distance, a feeling in her chest, but she tells herself she's imagining it. Tommy isn't so sure. He sees the boogeyman outside, a tall shape, standing still by the hedges, across the street. Laurie tells him it's nothing, but Tommy is right. In the Wallace house, Linda and her boyfriend Bob arrive, laughing, drunk on freedom and the false safety of suburban life. They find the house empty and assume Annie left. Upstairs, they enjoy a moment of teenage love, unaware that Michael is already in the room. Bob goes to get a drink. He never returns. Michael stabs him, pinning his body to the wall with a single strike. Then, in a moment of twisted humor, Michael wears Bob's ghost costume, sheet and glasses, and walks silently into the bedroom. Linda laughs, thinking it's a joke. She dies with the phone in her hand, strangled by the cord as Laurie listens. On the other end, Laurie is frozen. Her friends are gone. The calls are unanswered. The street is too quiet. She tells the kids to lock the doors, and then she crosses the street, to the house where death now lives. The wind howls through the trees as Laurie Strode steps into the Wallace house. Each step echoes louder than the last. The lights are dim. The silence is suffocating. Upstairs, the door creaks open to a room that should be empty. But inside, horror waits. Laurie finds Annie sprawled on the bed, lifeless, with Judith Myers' tombstone propped behind her. It's not just a murder scene, it's a twisted shrine. As she backs away in shock, a closet door swings open. Linda's body falls out. In another corner, Bob's corpse hangs. Laurie's scream pierces the night, but no one hears. No one answers, except him. From the shadows behind her, Michael Myers emerges. His pale mask glows in the dark. His knife gleams. He doesn't speak. He doesn't run. He strikes. Laurie is slashed, but she fights back, tumbling down the stairs and out into the street. She limps to the Doyle house, banging on the door. Inside, Tommy fumbles to unlock it, just in time. They hide. Laurie grabs a knitting needle and waits. Michael enters. The shape moves with precision, like death in human form. But Laurie stabs him in the neck. He falls. She takes the children upstairs, telling them it's over. It isn't. Michael rises, silently, relentlessly. He follows them upstairs. Laurie hides the kids, then enters the bedroom. In a moment of panic, she opens a closet and hides herself inside. She hears him breathing. The door shakes, the slats break, the knife stabs through. She grabs a coat hanger and fights. The wire strikes his eye. He stumbles back. She takes his knife and stabs him. Again, he falls. Laurie checks on the children. She breathes, finally, believing it's finished. But behind her, Michael rises again, unstoppable, until a gunshot echoes through the house. Dr. Loomis has arrived. He shoots Michael again and again. Michael falls from the balcony. Loomis rushes. To the window, Michael is gone. Laurie weeps. The nightmare isn't over because Michael isn't human. He is the boogeyman. The gunshots still echo in Dr. Loomis's ears. He stares from the window, expecting to see the crumpled body of Michael Myers lying on the cold ground below. But there's nothing, just the faint imprint of where he fell. Michael is gone. Inside, the Doyle house. Laurie Strode trembles, covered in blood, barely able to speak. The children she protected, Tommy and Lindsay, cling to her, confused and terrified. They saw the mask, the knife, the monster, but they also saw her fight and survive. Loomis slowly turns from the window. He says nothing because he knows the truth. Michael isn't just a man. He's something else, something pure, something that can't be reasoned with, can't be stopped. Loomis had spent 15 years trying to understand him and failed. I realized what was living behind that boy's eyes was purely and simply evil. Outside, sirens begin to wail in the distance. The neighbors are waking, drawn to the horror by flashing lights and screams. But it's too late. The damage is done. Laurie is helped down the stairs. Her eyes remain wide, vacant. She asks Loomis the question everyone fears. Was that the boogeyman? He answers without hesitation. As a matter of fact, it was. Meanwhile, Michael's presence lingers. We see the empty streets of Haddonfield, the bedrooms where he stood, the stairways where he climbed, the yards, the corners, the closets, and, over it all, we hear him breathing. The mask, the myth, the shape. He could be anywhere, because evil doesn't die. It watches, it waits, and it returns. Halloween ends not with closure, but with dread. The boogeyman is still out there. The mask may disappear, the night may fade, but the terror remains. Laurie's life will never be the same. Neither will Haddonfield. In the shadows behind every hedge, in the silence of every Halloween night, there will always be the fear that he is watching, that he is coming back, because for Michael Myers, the night never truly ends. Halloween is over, but the silence it leaves behind is louder than any scream. Laurie Strode is taken away in an ambulance, her eyes vacant, her breathing shaky. She doesn't ask where Michael went. She doesn't need to. She knows, deep down, that he's still out there. The mask, the knife, the heavy footsteps, these things no longer belong to just one man. They belong to something bigger, a presence, a shape. Michael Myers has vanished, but his shadow remains, not just in Haddonfield's blood-stained sidewalks, but in the minds of everyone who dares to remember. The town will try to forget. The police will write their reports. The children will be tucked in again. But Laurie will never be the same. She was just a girl, a babysitter, a student, a daughter. Now, she's a survivor. She faced evil and lived, but survival comes at a cost. Her innocence is gone, her safety shattered. The comfort of small-town life, of Halloween fun and quiet neighborhoods, is lost forever, because evil wore a face that night, a blank, pale mask. A man who didn't speak, didn't run, didn't feel, a shape, not human, not monster, just unstoppable. Dr. Loomis knows it too. He stands in the night, listening to the wind, knowing it's not truly over. He spent years trying to contain what was never meant to be understood. He tried to warn them. And now the truth is carved into the walls and windows of Haddonfield, like jack-o'-lanterns gone dark. Michael didn't just kill people. He broke the illusion that we're ever really safe. And, as his breathing echoes over empty streets, the film ends not with peace, but with a question. Where is he now? The answer is as terrifying as the silence that follows. He could be anywhere, behind you, across the street, waiting. Because Michael Myers isn't just a killer, he is fear made flesh. He is the boogeyman, and as long as fear exists, he will return.